Welcome to the Full-Time FBA Show. In each episode, it's our goal to help you turn part-time hours into a full-time income selling almost anything on Amazon. And now, your hosts of the show, Stephen and Rebecca Smotherman.
Welcome to the Full-Time FBA Show. This is episode number 259. And today we're talking about maximizing your inventory sourcing with the Sourcing Success Worksheet. We're going to tell you all about what that is and how to use it. And to help us explain it and figure it out is my wife, Rebecca. What's up, Rebecca?
Hey, I am looking forward to getting into this. It is quite the tongue twister, though. Sourcing Success Worksheet. Mm-hmm. We actually call it the Sourcing Success Session Worksheet. So we'll probably have some fun saying that over and over again, but it's really a great tool, and we're really looking forward to talking about it.
Yeah, we're going to try really hard not to accidentally say a cuss word when we're saying success sourcing. Wait, what? Okay, you know what I mean. Let's get to it.
Well, today we're going to be talking about a really helpful resource that has come out of the Full-Time FBA coaching program, and it works so well at what it does that we wanted to share it with our podcast listeners as well. It's the Plan Your Sourcing Success Session Worksheet, and it's a tool anyone can use to get super focused on how you want to make progress in sourcing inventory for your FBA business.
Yeah, we've been using this worksheet with our coaching students and in workshops for a while now, and it's just been really useful. It's adaptable to several different sourcing methods, whether you're doing online arbitrage or retail arbitrage or wholesale, or even starting out with your Amazon business doing garage selling or thrifting. But before we get on to all the details of how you can use this planning tool, we want to make sure that you have access to it, and maybe you can follow along with us while we talk about it. So you can find the Sourcing Success Worksheet by going to fulltimefba.com/success plan. You can pause the podcast, go download it, print it out. It's a one-page PDF. It's really simple. And then you can have it pulled up on your screen or print it out, and then keep listening as we go over how you can use it. Again, fulltimefba.com/success plan.
Okay, now that you've done that, you did it right. You did what we asked.
They totally did it.
Okay, so now let's get started. The whole point of this worksheet and this exercise is to spend some time planning before the next time you're going to source inventory. A lot of times we get excited about the thought of going on a treasure hunt for great deals. We get ourselves all amped up for it, but once the time arrives to do the actual work of sourcing, because sourcing is work, we're just not prepared. We don't know where to start. We don't have the right tools ready. We're easily distracted by something else that can seem more urgent at the time. And we just never get around to doing the hard work of actually scouting items and finding good inventory to purchase. This is something that we personally have worked through at times in our business, so we put together this worksheet to help you through the steps we take when we're needing a boost in our sourcing. It will give you some structure and help you be fully prepared for your next sourcing session or your first session for some of you. That way, when you set out to actually start sourcing, you have everything ready, you have a plan, and you can push aside distractions so that you have a focused time of scouting. The more you can have focused scouting sessions, the more inventory you're going to find over the long run. We're going to start now with planning a 2-hour sourcing session where you're going to have a laser-focused block of time scouting FBA inventory.
And like I said, this Plan Your Sourcing Success Session Worksheet, it's such a mouthful, is adaptable to various sourcing strategies. And that's the first thing you're going to want to do in step 1. Determine which sourcing method you're going to prepare for your next session. Whether it's retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale, or garage sales and thrifting, pick which one of those you're going to focus on. You may have the same sourcing method every time you source, or you may mix it up. It's all up to you, but for now, we're planning on choosing just one individual 2-hour focused sourcing session, so just choose one method. After you've done that, we're going to do some brainstorming and listing out the places you want to source. Remember, this is just for one 2-hour sourcing session, so you don't need to have a huge comprehensive list of every single store that you want to shop at. Let's just start out by listing up to 5 retail stores for retail arbitrage, or 5 online websites for OA, or 5 thrift stores, or 5 to 10 garage sales for the weekend. You get the idea. If you're doing wholesale sourcing, maybe you want to list out some categories or subcategories that you're interested in researching in the Amazon catalog. And if you don't even know where to start, we suggest going to fulltimefba.com/bestsellers. and that will forward you to Amazon's page of all the best-selling items in each Amazon category. And then drill down to the subcategories, and then to the subcategories, and keep drilling down. And remember this phrase, the riches are in the niches. And so keep niching down to find a subcategory to look at. And it's just a great place to get ideas for brands to reach out to for wholesale accounts.
So that's the first step, choosing your sourcing method and listing out the stores or websites or brands that you want to scout. The second step you'll want to take is to put your 2-hour sourcing session on the calendar. And when I say put it on the calendar, I mean literally, physically put it on the calendar. Don't just say, I'll do it next week. No, I want you to actually block out a time on your calendar to schedule this 2-hour session, and don't plan anything else for this time. If you use a written calendar or a planner, write it down which 2-hour block you're going to use for your sourcing session. If you use Google or Apple or whatever digital calendar, schedule it there. If you don't use either a written or a digital calendar, I don't know how to help you. How do you get through life? Just kidding, sort of, but seriously, you need to schedule this session so that you can actually get it done. What gets scheduled is what gets done. You can say, I'll do it next week indefinitely, and never actually get around to sourcing for inventory. I want you to actually put down a date and a time for when you're going to do this, and then I know you'll do it.
All right, so after it's on your calendar, you're going to plan out the pre-work that you need to get done before the date and time arrives. No matter which sourcing method you use, you're going to have some tasks that you need to get done beforehand before you can actually spend the full 2 hours of your sourcing session on sourcing. Not on charging batteries or signing up for coupon codes or whatnot. There's a little list of things on the sourcing PDF that you can look at based on if you're going to be doing some retail arbitrage or garage sale or thrifting that can give you some ideas of what you need to get done, whether it's charging your batteries, making sure that you have the right apps on your phone, researching store sales, figuring out the locations, planning your driving route if you're going, from place to place. There are things that you can do that you should do before you start your 2-hour focused time block that you need to get done ahead of time. And we have a list of, it's not all inclusive, but it's just kind of get your mind thinking of the things that you need to get done. Maybe you need to get a babysitter. Maybe you need to, there's all sorts of different things, but get it done before your sourcing success session. And if you're doing online arbitrage or wholesale, maybe you need to sign up for newsletters to track some sales and get coupon codes emailed to you from these stores. Or maybe you need to write out the template for how you're going to message these wholesale brands to actually get the ball rolling, to get the conversation, to try to land these wholesale accounts. There's a lot of things that you need to be doing. We have it all on the PDF for you, as well as other places that you can write in other things that you need to do, because you are actually the one who is going to do it and you know what needs to get done. So plan it out before so you can have a focused sourcing session.
And then after you got all of that pre-work planned out and you know what you need to do beforehand, all that's left to do is do it. Now you execute your plan.
It reminds me of the quote, ain't nothing to it but to do it. That's from the Banana Land documentary from the Savannah Bananas baseball.
Thank you for bringing baseball in. I mean, it had been like this entire episode before we had a baseball reference. So
yeah, but sorry to interrupt you.
Okay, yeah. You want to execute your plan. You work through your to-do list before your sourcing session, and then you have your 2-hour sourcing session, and you absolutely rock it. You're prepared. You've done everything it takes to set yourself up for success. You are able to focus for the full 2 hours on sourcing and sourcing alone. You use all the sourcing strategies you've been learning. You look at the Keepa data. You make a smart buying decision. You put your nose to the grindstone and you work for that 2 hours as hard as you can to find great inventory.
Yep. And then guess what? You do it again. And then again. This type of planning strategy is designed to help you know how to prepare week in and week out for the best possible time blocks of sourcing inventory for your Amazon FBA business. And honestly, this is a huge component of what it takes to have a successful Amazon business over the long term. Knowing how to plan, knowing how to prepare, knowing how to put it on your calendar, and then just doing it. I mean, Rebecca and I, we can teach you all the strategies in the world. We can tell you about all the best tools on the market. But if you don't put it on your calendar and make it happen, then all of what we're saying is just going to come to nothing. So use this worksheet to plan your sourcing success sessions again and again. And if you're working on your Amazon business as like a side hustle, maybe you're going to plan your sourcing session every 1 to 2 weeks. But if you're wanting to make a full-time income with Amazon FBA, you're likely going to be planning your sourcing sessions about 2 to 3 times a week.
So as we're wrapping up, if you haven't already, get your Plan Your Sourcing Success worksheet at fulltimefba.com/successplan. Download it there and use it over and over again and see what happens over the next 2 to 3 months of having regularly planned times of sourcing. You're likely going to see your inventory grow, and then your Amazon disbursements and your profits will grow as well.
Yeah, and I just want to say, you might be tempted to use it once or twice and then think, okay, I got this. Don't do that just yet. Make sure that you continue to use this PDF that will help you get some really solid structure set up. And then maybe, down the road you can let go of it and because you got the habit set. But don't just think this is something you can use once or twice and be done with it. Keep with it, and it's going to help you find more success. And like we said at the top of the show, this worksheet is something that we've been using with our coaching clients and offering in our free workshops. And so you're going to want to join us there for even more information to scale your Amazon business and improve your profits so that you can make that full-time income. We're going to be announcing our next free workshop very soon. So keep an eye or an ear out for those signups coming up really soon. But in the meantime, you can learn more about our coaching program, fulltimefba.com/coaching.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. As a reminder, all of the links we've mentioned in the show notes can be found at fulltimefba.com/259 because this is episode number 259.
And next week on the show, this is so exciting. We're going to be talking about how to double your Q4 sales and profits.
Woohoo!
And it's not going to be a complicated thing either. You're going to love this. We'll talk about it next week on the Full-Time FBA Show.
That's all for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. So head over to fulltimefba.com/podcast, where you'll find the show notes and links from this episode. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter where you'll get several free downloads of our popular and helpful Amazon FBA resources. Now, take action on what you've learned today so you can find success at turning part-time hours into a full-time income with Amazon FBA.